Okay, here we've got two Goya bean cans, and I braze them together using my oxyMagneGas torch. It's basically like oxyacetylene, but it's hotter and it's greener, safer. It's really fun to use, but I use bronze brazing rod, and I used a lot of it. It's ugly. I'm going to try to do some better brazing of cans because it's kind of expensive to use all this brazing, but it's practice. And basically now I've got some burn holes here, and I find that what's important to do with brazing is to get the coating off after you've done the brazing. The slag coating, it's kind of like glass, ends up embedding itself onto the pretty gold color of the bronze. I grinded it a little bit. I used an engraving tool to get some of it off. I've kind of found the best thing is a putty knife. I mean, not a putty knife, a utility knife. And so, you know, you scratch it and you get that little stuff off. I believe I heard on YouTube that you can quench it also. So I've got this water here, and next time I'm going to try spraying the braze just as after it kind of cools a little bit. It'll still be very hot, and hopefully that water will make that glass coating crack apart. We'll try to do that when I hit these holes here. The other thing I wanted to point out was this thing is, I'm trying to make it airtight. And I've got this fuel line, I don't know, it's about 1/4 inch, I didn't measure it. But one thing that's cool about this is that I've got this $10 hand bicycle pump that I got from Harbor Freight. And this thing's really cool. It actually, I can pump the tires of my truck with it. You know, it's a lot of work, but it'll do it. I just got it. We don't know the quality. Over time, I guess I'll know, but it seems pretty good so far. Now this thing will fit, the fitting will fit onto this hose I found. So you can go like this, and then to connect it, you pull this thing up. And I can then pump air and figure out where my holes are. Because right there, you can put your hand there and feel the air coming out. Whoops, this thing came off. Alright. So, anyway, that's kind of cool. And if I hold these in place, these two holes, I can see basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to braze up these holes, and then, oh, hear that? And then when you put air in it, it'll kind of pop its way out because it's holding it. And there's probably a lot of cool little things you can do with this. The other thing I wanted to point out that I learned on YouTube is a Bic pen. This will fit in here. And so now you can connect this to other things like this vinyl hose. I think it's 7/16, and then you can kind of you know, direct your air where you want to put it. You can let's see, get the hose onto the steel fuel line again, and that way if you wanted to blow air into, say, a rocket stove or some kind of combusting stove to make it more efficient, kind of like putting a blower on it or something, you can do that and use it with the hand pump. The other thing is you can use this. This is a brake bleeder fitting, and I have it into a fit onto a piece of the Bic pen. I can go like this and then tighten that there. Then this is my Ford vacuum canister, and this leaks. The whole reason I started doing all this stuff was to repair this. I wanted to, or I do want to braze it with the MagneGas, with the bronze, and it's a little messy, but it's getting there, and I found I have to like, cleanliness is what's most important with brazing. But here I can put this onto this connection here, and then I can feel that air coming out, and it'll show me where the leak is. So I'm going to continue and braze this stuff up and see if I can get it to all be airtight, and then the most important thing is to get that forward running. Okay. The other thing I'm doing is I'm coating the the bronze brazing rod with the flux, which I wasn't really doing before. I think this way I'll make less mess with the flux. So let's see what happens here. So I'm going to turn down my oxygen. I think I know what I'm doing. Alright, let's see what happens. We'll just heat up the bronze. Alright, that's with quenching it a little bit. It seems like it helps. I should have gotten it over the that white spot. You want to get that stuff off because it's corrosive. And I read it absorbs water also, so that'll aid in the corrosion. Alright, I'm trying to make my techniques better. And it's trial and error practice and watching YouTubes. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the quenching seems to be pretty good. If I hit it quickly and then hit it with the wire brush a little bit, maybe I can actually just heat this stuff up and then quench it and see if that cleans it up. The other thing I found, I had the 2 holes. Listen to this. I plug this in. Oops, sorry. Like that, and listen. So there it goes. Give it a little pump and it's totally full of air. Listen to the pop. Okay, not much.